You can find it off to the side of like in Google Classroom. It just kind of started showing up on the teacher end. Within Sheets, within Slides, within Google Docs, you can find some AI tools there. So how do we use that to our advantage? The other thing we're going to be talking about is the app script. And not everyone here, I'm sure, will be familiar with the app script, but I've got a really great way to show you an example of how the app script can be super powerful. But first, who am I? My name is Stephen Elliott. I am the ed tech at La Paz Middle School. If you're new to this district, there's an ed tech at every single site. And then we have our the big boss, our district ed techs, Amber and Jen, over in Ed Services that we all coordinate together to give you training on technology and best practices, all those sorts of things. I am also a part of the EdTech Plan Committee, setting the standards for how we're going to be using technology over the next 5 years. And I am in the Salinas Union High School District AI Committee. We were one of the first committees to be formed by a district in the state 2 years ago. We're still going strong, and we've created some resources that I would love to point out to you later on in this session. And if you got questions about what is the direction that we're going with AI in the district, feel free to ask them. I'm more than happy to let you know everything that I do know and try to find out what I don't. You might hear my name come up whenever there's a discussion about esports at Salinas Union High School District, because I love esports. I'm wearing my esports t-shirt that I made. And I'm also known as the, Brian's here. Hi, Brian. I'm also known as the spreadsheets guy in the district. So if you ask your site ed tech about something about spreadsheets and they don't know, they probably are going to email me. You can also email me directly if you want. We'll be talking a little bit about all those things today. Cool. So we are going to do some Mad Libs. I'm putting in the chat a Google form. And so you should be able to click on that form and fill it out. It's going to ask you for adjectives, verbs, nouns, all those sorts of things for your Mad Lib. Now, what you're going to notice, and I'm going to go over to the spreadsheet side. I'm looking for your responses, and I've got a little checkbox over here. So you're just going to fill it out, and just so you know, we are answering questions about our school district. So if you put a bunch of negative verbs and adjectives, it might sound like I am not a fan of this school district. I'm a huge fan of this school district. Just be aware of what you put in there. It's going to be about the place where we work. So put what you like. And as I see information coming up, I'm going to start checking these boxes. I'm going to give us about 4 minutes. And then I'm going to start checking these boxes. And if you've got really good vision, oh, hello, Julissa Mendoza. We've got to say hi to you in person later. We're at the same site. Yeah, I would be really excited. I mentioned to another counselor that's here that there are a lot of things that that Gemini can do with the app script and also with spreadsheets. We just got a brand new AI integration with spreadsheets that I'm really excited to try out at some time to make your lives easier. You're going to be caring for a lot of kids at La Paz this year, and it's a complicated job. So glad to help any way I can. So yeah, so we've got about like 3 more minutes. Go ahead and fill out the Google form that is linked at the basically near the bottom of the chat. And when you submit that form, I see we've got one already. When you submit the form, I'm going to do a checkbox here. If you've got really good eyesight, you might notice that the checkbox says send email. So after I click this box, I'm going to have you check your email. And then I think we've got about maybe 2 more minutes. I'll come check back later if you're a little slower than others, but I want to start sending these out. So if you're in the middle of doing it when I say time's up, just keep going. You'll have a minute or 2. I do know that last time yesterday, I wish I had given more time for Sandbox, so I'm going to try and do that today. Means I'm going to be a little careful with time at the beginning. All right, one more minute, and I'm going to start checking these boxes. Maybe 30 more seconds. Oh, I see some interesting words showing up at the end. We've got clowns in there. Oh, no. We'll see how that goes. All right. So continue to submit. Oh, we got more clowns. Continue to submit your Mad Libs. I'm going to start checking these boxes. After I check the boxes, give it a minute if you want, and it shouldn't take too much longer than a minute. Go ahead and check your email. And then if you got one that you want to share, you can copy paste the text and put it in the chat. Or you can just be amazed at this crazy thing that I just pulled off right now just by checking a box. All right, is there a response? Okay. I think there's a couple of boxes that look like they got partially filled out. So yours might look a little weird if you didn't get all the way to the end for some reason. Okay, we've got more coming in. All right, with the about 12, 13 sessions that I've got, you should start to see some interesting, fun stuff. Yeah, so again, if you have something that you think is really funny or cute or clever, go ahead and copy paste it into the chat. Otherwise, we're going to start moving ahead. And I'm going to explain what is this thing that I did and how did I do it and what could we use it for. So once again, please check your email. If you sent it in, you should see a little email from me. All right, we're going to persuade. Very nice. Oh, it's a Sigma Salinas Union High School District. Love that. You've been spending time with 7th graders, I see. All right. So as we persuade the office clowns, that sounds like, maybe I shouldn't say what that sounds like. What was that? So what it is this spreadsheet is attached to the Google form, the one that I was checking the boxes in. Let me just see if I've got a couple more to send. All right. It has a script attached to it. A script meaning a block of code that when I click the box, it sends you an email and it fills those spaces in with your responses to a paragraph that I wrote. Now, if you want to see this, and for all the stuff I'm going to show you today, I have an example of the code, and I'm going to teach you today how you could modify it. Well, hopefully I'll be able to teach you how you can modify it to serve your purposes. But if you look at this, it's just a Google Doc. And if you're not familiar with coding, you don't have to have actual knowledge of coding. We are going to learn a little bit about it today, but you can kind of see how this code sends an email. And I'll show you, I forgot to do this at the beginning of yesterday, so I'll show you where you can find it on the actual spreadsheet. If I'm up here, I got to make my box a little bit bigger. I've got a really small, I'm working on my Chromebook right now. If I go into extensions and I see where it says app script, I'll do this again afterwards, and I just click on app script. It's going to take me to where the actual code is, and I copy pasted this code over here. Every single thing that you can use in Google Classroom, the Google Suite that has the ability to run the app script, you're going to find it where it says. Once again, I'll show you. You're going to find it where it says extensions and then app script. So in Google Docs, in Google Slides, in Google Sheets. Google Forms are a little bit different, but I'll show you that one later when we get a chance to look at it, where I have a an actual script running on a Google form. So that's where we're going with this. That's where you're going to find it. The question is, and some of you may be already thinking about this, so okay, I can write code that'll run on my stuff, right? The only problem is, what if I can't code? Well, actually, I can't code very well either. I'm learning, but I have about maybe like a high school just learning computer science level understanding of coding. The cool thing is that Gemini can write JavaScript code for you. And that is how I got all the code that I use in the things I'm going to show off to you today. So this training is going to equip you to use the tools to write, test, and debug the code. But the heavy lifting, the coding part, is going to be done by Gemini. We just need to understand how to talk to Gemini about it, how to give very specific prompts, and how to react when we are trying to do something and it doesn't go the way we want. Because oftentimes with this, it's a very back and forth. It takes a while to get it perfect because Gemini will make its own mistakes and then it can catch its own mistakes and fix its mistakes. But then why did it make a mistake in the first place? It's a complicated thing. So it's a little bit of back and forth with that. I have to say, even though I'm usually the spreadsheet guy, this is one of the most technically complicated PDs I've ever done. So if you get confused, or if you need me to repeat something, please let me know. And please also understand that I am here for you as a district ed tech. If you want to see something done that we did today in your classroom, you can also reach out to me if you're not sure how to get it done. We can work on it together, all right? So, but we are going to use generative AI today. And as a member of the AI committee, I feel duty-bound to say some things about the use of AI and some things you'll probably hear your site techs talking about when you get back to your campuses. We have SUHSD AI guidelines. We're over here on slide number 8. If I click this link right here, it takes me to the actual guidelines. And this is also on the EdTech portal. And you can see we have a record of when they were revised and when they were presented to the school board. I think we're due to present them again sometime in the coming year. And I think we're going to continue meeting into next year. A lot of things are up in the air with new management and all that. But you can go into the details here. But in general statements that I'm going to make is that when we use AI, it's important to use human input. We can't put something into AI and then just present whatever comes out of it, because there's a lot of possibility of mistakes being made. There's also some biases that will put some of our more vulnerable populations on the outside of receiving good things from our use of AI. So we always want to put our human input over it. There's an expression called human in the loop, which sounds like a sci-fi anime, but it's just the idea that you are a part of the generation of things in AI. It has to pass through your eyes and get your okay. It might require some tweaks and changes and adjustments. The other one is that our use of AI needs to be compliant with FERPA and COPA, because those are federal government guidelines that we are beholden to legally. I know what you're thinking, what federal government? But at the same time, those laws do exist there for the safety of our kids. And we need to be very careful that we don't put student, I knew you'd like that one, Sharmisa. We don't put any student information that's personally identifiable, like their ID numbers or their emails or their addresses, or things that might exist to identify them, into a system that we don't understand where it's going out. So things like OpenAI, ChatGPT is an example of an open, it's called OpenAI, literally, it's an open system. And sometimes it can use the data that's entered into it to create prompts. So then if you've placed information that identifies a student into a system like that, you run the chance and the risk of having that information be output somewhere and you don't know where. When it comes to assessing work that's tied to students' actual information, we are looking at some apps that might do that. So if the district ever has a license for something that does that, it will be something that we have a license, we have an agreement with that company that specifically relates to protecting student information and all of that stuff. So then you'll be able to use it without that concern. But with any old app on the internet, we need to be very careful. This is something we shall be competent. Yeah, I know. It's a complicated thing, and it's going to be a theme going around this year. Just some guardrails are probably going to go up in the coming year regarding just sharing information and linking your Google Drive to whatever app. So there are some things that you'll see a pattern in the conversations that we're having. We don't want our system to be hacked. We don't want our students' information to get out there where it doesn't belong. Anyway, also just a general thought and something that I like to think about with AI. I got this from, I'm paraphrasing this because I heard this guy speak at a conference I went to, and I thought what he said was really smart. And I couldn't remember the exact words. I wrote it down somewhere. But the idea is when we're looking at AI with a critical eye, we need to make sure that we understand at least something about the subject that we're asking about. So if you're asking AI to make lessons for a 7th grade science class and you're a 7th grade science teacher, you're going to spot the misinformation immediately, right? If you're doing a subject that you're an expert on, there's no way, if you're looking at the output of the AI, that you're going to have this problem of presenting information to students that's completely false or fake. So we are actually going to learn a little bit about coding together today. But then I'm also going to share with you some of my tips and tricks to make this happen. We're going to end today's session with a sandbox. Yesterday I got 40 minutes for my teachers. We're going to be ending at 12:15, so there is a little space for a break in between. Most of yesterday, everyone needed one because there were some complicated things that we were talking about. So I'm going to check with you guys when we have about that time. Otherwise, we can just go through and you guys can leave a little early, but we'll figure out what everyone needs at that time. Okay. So let me explain to you again about the Mad Libs app. We're going to just go over this really quick because I did already kind of talk about it, and I want to show you the format of my slides. If I click this rectangle, the blue rectangle that says check out the code here, I'm going to get a Google Doc that has correctly formatted code. You guys can look at this. You can see what it is. You might even be able to pull apart what each piece does. We're going to talk about what the names are of some of these parts of a block of code that'll help you to determine what the code's doing yourself when you have the AI do something for you. And additionally, so you can, if you get frustrated, you can see when I got frustrated. This is my chat log. So everything that's blue is stuff that I typed into Gemini. That's the actual words that I typed. And these are the actual responses that Gemini gave me. And you can see Gemini talks a lot. I talk a little. That's kind of how it goes. But you have to be able to guide to get the actual thing that you want. So even if it works, it might not work the way you want. So you got to keep coming back to that conversation. Even I want to point this out. I did not know when I first did this as one of my first projects. I don't know how to add the code to the spreadsheet. And that was the thing that I showed you before, which was this box over here under extensions that says app script. So I didn't know how to do that. So I just asked Gemini and it told me. And you can get step-by-step instructions on anything that's technically complicated that you're not sure how to do. Sometimes those steps will have something incorrect in them because that is just a thing that AI does. So you'll have to come back and say, I tried to do the thing that you did. It didn't work. So that's that. So yeah, that's that one. And here's my thoughts for how we can use it. As a matter of fact, the Mad Libs version of this activity isn't what I originally designed it for. The first time I got something like this working, I was trying to help a tech at another site figure out how to click a checkbox for their detention referral Google form. to send an email back to the referring teacher with a summary of what consequences were given to the student who was referred. So this didn't end up actually getting used by that site, so I'm not going to say which site it was, but it was a cool idea. And I thought, well, I got this concept of check a box, send an email, and I've gotten to use it for two other things. This Mad Libs activity is one, and another one is, I don't know if I have any CTE teachers in the house, but I'm the lead for the middle school exploratory CTE class. And this last year, one of our focuses was getting students to understand the pathways from middle school to high school on into the ROP, forward into careers. And so we took this whole, I created a whole block of code that let the students talk about, choose activities that they enjoyed in the class. And I tied every activity into a pathway. And then every time a pathway came up, it created a summary for the student. It sent them an email saying, hey, you're interested in these 1, 2, 3, 4 pathways. And then they got to create a project from that where they mapped their possible journey from middle school on into high school and on into their first career, taking advantage of every step along the way, using the ROP website to determine what classes were available in each pathway at the high school that they were going to. So that was super fun. And the kids loved getting the summary because it was like magic, you know. I don't know what I'm interested in. Well, fill out this little form, and then this thing tells you what you're interested in. And they're like, oh, yeah, I am interested in that. So it was a really cool project. And if you want to see the code for that, it is linked on slide 12 here where I'm talking about. I'd be curious, and while I'm kind of setting up the next thing, does anyone have any other ideas how you could use something like this? Think about the ability to send an email when you check a box. What ideas, what else could we do with this in our classrooms? Okay. And if you've got one, you can put it in the chat. You can unmute yourself and say. Reading logs and study logs, okay. And sending the information back to the students to refer what they're doing. That's a cool idea. I know yesterday we had a teacher in that was trying to, I'm just gonna help her do this, but she was trying to use Google Forms for feedback of student presentations and like pluses and minuses, like warm and cool feedback. And then she wanted to summarize all that together in an email to send back to the students to be like, hey, the class thought that you did well at this, and that you could improve by doing more of this. What subject would you major in college? Yeah, that could be really good. It would take some back-end planning to get all the different majors and what questions are related to what, but it's definitely doable. All right. While we're thinking about that, and do feel free to add more as you're going, I want to tell you about some coding concepts. Now, when we're looking at coding concepts, I'm going to go back to the code and show you where it is. And you can come back to this as a reference later if you need to remember what each thing is. So first part, shout out to the math teachers. A variable, it means very much the same thing as what it means in your math classes, or at least similar. A variable is a word or phrase in the script that can be assigned a value. So it could be assigned a number value, or it could be assigned a set of commands. And the example I have here is from the Mad Libs format, script, excuse me. And it's right here. It says var, V-A-R, sheet equals range.getSheet. So range.getSheet is a command. We're going to talk about what those things are called in code later. But the variable name is sheet. So var tells the program we're making a new variable. And then the word sheet is the name of the variable. And equals is going to be what value we assign to it. We can change the values based on the input from the students as well. In some code, we do that. Every time in the code the word sheet comes up, it's referencing this value, just like it would in a math equation. So let me show you where we might find that. Typically, it's at the beginning of your script. So you can see this is the Mad Libs script. Variable sheet equals e.source.getActiveSheet. So getActiveSheet is a command, also known as a function, talk more about that in a minute, that says, okay, well, select whichever spreadsheet is currently being used. So if you're editing on a spreadsheet, then it's going to get that spreadsheet. And you can see this other one, variable checkbox column. There's an explanation on the side here where the checkbox is located. So this is column 17, and if you go over to the Mad Libs, you're going to notice that letter Q, which actually does line up with the 17th column, that actually is what value I have assigned to it. So if the checkbox was on, say, column 1, then you would change this number to 1. So this gives you the ability to fix things, change things, move things around. Here's another cool one. Variable subject equals, here is your Mad Lib. And if you remember correctly, when you went and did this, I'm going to check and see if I have any more. Oh, I've got one. Spiders. You guys got a new, that person got a new email if you just sent that in or sent it in a while ago. That was the title of the email that you got. So if I changed here is your Mad Lib to something else, that will be the title of the email. When I look down in the code at this part right here, when they're going to send an email, the subject shows up here. So whatever it is that I'm going to make the subject is going to show up in the email. So in order to change that, all I got to do is change the variable. So that's why variables are super powerful. And you'll be aware of them when you look at code. That's the idea, that you're just aware of them, that they exist. Also, sometimes the word const, as in C-O-N-S-T, is also another word for variable that shows up, and it's for a variable that does not change its value. So you'll see that later, actually. I want to just make sure that you're aware that it's the same, a similar thing. Okay, and now the other thing that I want you to know about is a function. A function is a bundle of commands, or it could be one command, it could be 3, 4, 5 commands all together in one section. And think of it like a button. If I have a button that does this, for example, this function over here says get content. When I run that function or push that button, it's going to go get content, whatever that means. And there's some context for why it says range.getContent, but all you need to know right now is if it's got the little parentheses, the open parentheses, sometimes there'll be something written inside, but if you got the parentheses after a statement, that's a function. And it's like a button that does a specific thing. All right, so we've got variables and functions. Let me show you a function. Well, actually, this entire line of script is a function. And this function is called onEdit, which means every time that there's an edit on this spreadsheet, meaning every time somebody adds something, run this. And it runs the whole thing. But then there's other functions too. Edited cell.getRow. So it's going to actually find which row the edit was made in. And a way I know it's a function is the parentheses. So you start to see a few of those things show up. There's not a lot of functions in this script. It's actually kind of short, with the exception of the part where they build the Mad Libs. Anyway, you'll also see those in the other scripts as we go through. If anyone has questions about any of this stuff, really what we're looking for right now is the basic knowledge of the kind of the architecture of a line of script. You won't have to be able to write these, but you will need to know kind of what they look like. Right. Another one is comment code. So comments are things that have no effect on the code whatsoever. If you put something in comment, it's like when you're doing comment mode on a Google Doc that you don't have edit access to. You can't change the text of the document. You can just make suggestions or explain things. And that's what comment code is used for. It's used for explaining things. I did show you this a little while ago. I didn't say what it was, but like next to this variable for checkbox column, it says // that's how you start a comment, the // column A, 1, well, I actually changed it from 1 to 17 because that's the column where the checked box is located. The reason I knew to put 17 is because the comment code told me I need to write here the column where the checkbox is located. And this one right here, email column equals 2. It says column where the email address is located. So I need to go to my spreadsheet and look. There we go, 1, 2, second column, that's where the emails are. So that's how I know what number to put in that variable because of the comment code. Comment code is super useful, and you can even request Gemini to put lots of comments in the code, but they will automatically by default put comments in the code because that's an expectation in coding that you're explaining what happens with each part. Right here, this is explaining, this is how we're building the summary with the custom strings, which means strings are the text that's added. And then this part right here is adding the input from the columns in your responses. So that's what that comment is for. And the color coding is something that happens by default on a lot of coding platforms as well. So you might see different colors, but you'll notice that they stand out and there's that double slash. If you forget to put the double slash in there, it will read this comment as part of the code and you'll probably get a big fat error. So do be careful if you're editing stuff like that. You want to make sure it looks like how it started. Okay. One last thing, and this one, I'll say you don't need to know this as much as you need to know the other 3 things that I just said. The variables, the comment code, and then functions, just like what it looks like with the open parentheses like that. But if-else statements are kind of cool because there's a huge tie-in to English, to like the ELA disciplines, to even science and social studies. It's cause and effect. If this thing is true, then this thing is going to happen. And then else is like, or if it's not true, then this is what's going to happen. So the example I have here is from a script that I put on a spreadsheet that unfortunately we didn't get to use at my site. We were going to use it for students choosing the elective they wanted in the 8th grade. And what it's saying is, if every time someone writes something new, we don't want them to be able to overwrite another student's answer, because you know that happens as soon as students start messing around. They're like, oh, I'm going to erase my friend's answer. That'll be funny. So what we have is, it says if old value, which means the original thing that was in that cell, does not equal, so exclamation point and the equal signs means does not equal, undefined, which means there's something written inside it. Then range set value, old value. That means keep the value in the old value. Else, which means if it is undefined, meaning there isn't anything, then range dot clear content, which means make it available for a student to write. They can only write in blank boxes. If they've written something in another box, it cannot be erased by them. We were working on this script to have a debug mode where the teacher could go in and alter things, but as it stands right now, it's just saying you can't write in something that someone else has already written in. So yeah, that's what that is, and you'll see some if-else statements, and they could even be nested. So it could be if this, else this, shows up in coding a lot. So it's just a really common thing. So at this point, I've just explained a couple of kind of big coding concepts to you. We are at 10:40. What I have is, I have 2 more cool apps I want to show you. And we can either do one together, or I can give you sandbox time so you can start playing with it and trying it yourself. Or I could help you with the project that you are already itching to get started on if you've got some ideas now. But first, I want to check in with everybody. So what I did last time was, if you need a break right now, your brain is melting out your ears, and you need to just a moment to take it all in, put a crying face emoji in the chat. If you're ready to move on and you want me to just keep going for a little bit, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so we have one person ready for a break, one person ready to move on. Okay, it looks like a lot of us are ready to move on. If you need a break, do remember that we do have, this is being recorded, and if you need to go to the restroom, come back, get a drink of water, get a sugary snack, please do. If you need me to explain something again, also. I've got a raised hand. Was that a question or just fancy thumbs up? Nope. Okay. All right. So then let's talk about this other one. I've got another activity for you guys to do. I'm sending you a Google form. And here's the deal with, okay, yeah, I get confused by that hand too. I'm so glad it's no longer distance learning time. That was the worst. I'm sending you a form. This form can only be filled out 10 times. So after 10 people fill out this form, it's going to close automatically without me doing anything. So see if you can be one of those 10 and let me know when it's closed. All right, so take a minute. It's really simple. It's like 2 questions. I'm going to open, actually, I'm going to open the form myself. Oh, wow, it's already gone. Cool. All right, so that was fast. So what you're going to see is, let's see. Oh, so what you're going to see is I'm going to open up the actual response sheet so we can see what's in there. Now, I did use this yesterday, so is it not? Hold on. Something's wrong here. I think for some reason it's turned. No, okay, yeah, okay. Oh yeah, because yeah. So we have 11 responses. So some of them came from previous instances. So if I look, so there's one extra because one didn't get responded for, but we got that. I only got 10 responses from you guys today. Another one is left over from yesterday, so I apologize for that number being confusing. But that's how that works. So there's a script running on that Google form, and I'll show you where it is. Like I mentioned, the app script looks a little bit different in a Google form. We're going to go into this 3-part menu right here, and the app script is right here under where it says print. If I go into the app script, I'm going to see that code. And this code that's here is also linked in a Google Doc form in the slideshow that I gave you. Here's some cool, this is where that const shows up. So that const, that's actually a variable, but it's a kind of variable that has to stay the same throughout the entire time that it's running. So const is 10. So if I change this number to 12, now it can take 12 responses. If I change this number to 15, now it could take 15 responses. Also, it says open the form by URL. So if I change this URL right here to a different Google form, I can have that script run on that Google form instead. So that's how it actually attaches itself to the form. So it's really simple. This one's about 15 lines of code. It's pretty easy to see what it is that it's telling you. And then editing the variables here could have a different style of response. And just so you know how easy it is to remove responses, if I'm over at my responses here, I can click the menu, delete all responses. Okay, so all my responses are gone. And then where it says manage, I can turn on the form again. And now we could do the whole thing one more time. Additionally, with the spreadsheet, I could make a copy. This actually, since it's linked, it actually deleted the responses from you all as well. But I could actually make a copy of the tab over here just by pressing duplicate. And then I could save the responses from each class if I was doing this as like a bell work for multiple classes, something like that. All right, so I have some powerful ways that I have used this, and I would love to hear some of your thoughts. So I have used this form to save my marriage because my wife is known for her baked goods, and we have used them to fundraise for my esports program in the past. And last year, I made them available at the beginning of the day, and I was gone on a training. And by the time I looked and checked on it and closed it, we had oversold by like a dozen of these things. So I had to beg my wife to make me some more stuff for my very supportive staff. And so this time I can do it and say, all right, guys, there's a limit of this many, and that's as many as I can receive, and it'll actually close itself. You could use this in your classroom as well, though. You could use it if you have a limited resource that you want the students to check out from you, and then you can make sure that it's like on a first come, first serve basis. That's one way I could see that being used. And then the students could check and see if something's available just by clicking the form and saying, oh, it's closed, it's not available right now. One thing that I really would like to use it as well is as an ed tech who does PD after schools, I have to make proposals for all my PD, and I have to include on that the number of teachers that will be participating or staff members that will be participating in this PD. And what ends up happening is sometimes the number of people that are interested is greater than the number of people that I have proposed, because I have to propose the training before I find out if anyone wants to go to the training. It's really complicated. So in this case, I can say, well, I've got 12 slots. Who wants to sign up? I can send this out to our staff. And then as soon as 12 people have signed up, people can look and see and say, oh, okay, it's full. And that would just avoid me having to have an awkward conversation with somebody like, hey, I know you're interested in developing professionally, but I can't develop you professionally, or something like that. So that's one way that I would use that. If you've got any other ideas, once again, let everybody know. Put that in the chat. And I am going to share one more, and I will ask you to do this with me. This one is complicated. Like, if you want to see me get frustrated with Gemini, you can look at my chat logs for this one, because this took me like 2.5 hours to figure out, because it kept giving me errors, and I kept copying the errors and bringing them over to Gemini and say, I got this error, what does it mean? And Gemini's like, well, you did the code wrong. You did the code wrong. What's happening here is going to be really interesting. So there's a Google form, and it says bell work question. And I'm going to give you guys this. And it's going to ask you what you're hoping to get out of this experience. So really simple. And it's going to include your email. And I'm going over to a spreadsheet over here. So I'm looking for, these are my responses from yesterday. I'm looking for some responses. I already got one from Michael over here, avoiding FOMO. All right, well, as much as, let me just check really quick and see if I have, oh, you know what, I actually need to run a, I've got the wrong slide open. I've got too many, it's a problem in my life that I rarely complain about, but I have too many spreadsheets open. I'm going to extensions, I'm going to the app script. I'm actually going to run a function within the app script, which is kind of a new thing that you may not have seen anyone do. And I personally, okay, I get it. All right. I'm just learning this now, but this one says reset message board grid. So I'm going to deploy this, or I'm sorry, going to run this reset message board grid because I used it yesterday. It's going to reset my message board for me. What this is going to do is I've got your responses. I'm going to choose the ones that I think are appropriate. So if you guys wrote some inappropriate stuff, I'm not putting it up on the board. Here we go. I've got, we're avoiding FOMO. All right. Asking Gemini questions to get the, I should probably make this easier to read. because if I'm not actually checking you guys for inappropriate responses, but I would for my students. Okay, helpfuls, Google Sheets techniques, comfortable with coding, efficient with time, introducing to Gemini coding, the idea of how tech can support my work overall. Love that. Making my life more efficient. Absolutely. Maybe get the kids to lightly code. Love that. Huge fan of AI. Okay, so we've got all this. Now, where is this going? When I check the box, it says post this. So you might have found it already if you've got my slides open. But it's this slideshow right here. And I could present it. I got your email, and I've got what you wrote. And it is in like a grid pattern, so you could read what everyone put. And as more responses come in, it makes me another box. Now, I think I could also, I noticed that that second one, the box is a little bit too big. So I can actually go back in and alter it if I need to. But yeah, let's see if I need to add any more. Nope. Okay, those are all the ones that we have. But so you could see how something like this could be useful. And there's a record. So if we're worried about students putting something inappropriate to put up on the board, first of all, if they put something inappropriate, you don't have to check the box. You don't have to show it to them. You don't have to give them that stage. And you also have a record that they can't erase. So you can go and have that real conversation with them if they're trying to be inappropriate in a public way, which is, you know, part of being a teenager. But that's a really simple concept. In a way, it's quite similar to Padlet. I don't know if you have Padlet available to you. We have limited, from what I understand how it works is we have limited licenses for Padlet because Padlet got super expensive. In my opinion, Padlet kind of lost the script a little bit. Don't tell Amber I said that. I know she loves Padlet, but it's so complicated now, all the different things you can do. But it used to be just post a message, everyone can see it. So this is going back to basics here. And as you know, we've got this declining enrollment thing going on. We've got whatever's happening at the federal government that's related to money. Who knows? Right now, there's no plans to cut anything, but you never know what we're not going to have. But I'll tell you what we are always going to have. We're always going to have Google Slides. We're always going to have Google Sheets. We're always going to have forms. We're always going to have the app script because it's part of that whole ecosystem. And you guys have Gemini because it's free. The version that most of the staff are using is the free version. So cool. So we could use this for warm-ups, for bell work. I like to use it when students are taking notes on a reading because I'm trying to teach my 7th and 8th grade students how to actually take notes, how to pull inferences from text. So if they're putting theirs in a public way somewhere that other students can see them, then the students who have strong observational skills can put out examples that the students with less developed observational skills could actually look at and model their comments after. And that's just like one step of getting them closer to being able to do it on their own. So that's how I like to use stuff like this. I actually figured this out this summer, so I haven't gotten to use it yet. But I do like the idea and the fact that it works. I may end up using it at the beginning of this year. So yeah. Any other thoughts? Do you guys have something that you could use with this one? Please do let me know in the chat or unmuting yourself. So yeah. We're now at 10:54. Yeah, so Michael, we didn't lose Padlet. We sort of like half held on to it. If you're a frequent user of Padlet, you might still have your license. If you suddenly find out that you don't have the paid license anymore, and you could probably email Jen or Amber, and they might be able to assign you one. But it's that we don't have full across the district implementation anymore because of how expensive they got after they added all their AI integrations. So they're like a real pricey, bougie app now. But in my use case, when I use Padlet, I really just having the kids post up messages. It's as simple as that. I don't really need, you know, the like AI drawing thing or the mind map stuff. I don't know. For me, I think having a simple version of it is pretty helpful. So I'm wondering, let's see, I'll use different emoticons this time. Give me the thinking emoticon if you want to take a think break, and give me the heart emoticon if you think we should go through and then end with sandbox and get out of here a little bit early. Okay. All right. We're going to keep going then. So, wow, so much love in this room. I love it. All right. Does anyone have a cool idea? I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about it. If you don't have a cool idea, I have one that we could try. We've got about, I did better than yesterday, so we've got about, after this, we should have about an hour or so for sandbox time. So when I start this, you could watch and learn from me, or you could start playing with it and make your own thing. So I'm gonna give it till 11 o'clock on the dot. If nobody has a cool idea for slides, sheets, docs, whatever, for us to try, then I'll put my idea out there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I like the automatic email component, something where students drop to a D or an F in my class. Their parents get an automatic email notification. Okay. So I guess my first question is, are you tracking this like on a spreadsheet? Would that be the use case here? Or are you asking about doing that through Synergy? Because, oh, okay, Synergy would be preferred. All right, so I'm not sure if we can run AppScript through Synergy because it's interpreted as a third-party app, which they might think is like spam or blocked. So you do have to, something I didn't mention the first time you deploy these, you have to actually grant them permission to run, even though you made them. Because it's created, it's like a web created app from a third party is how it's interpreted when it goes through the system. So I don't think we could do it through Synergy, but we could very easily either make the checkbox situation where you look at the grades and be like, okay, this person, this person, this person, and what they have, or Greek, Latin, tuber, roots. I don't know what that means, sir. You have to let me know. But we could come up with something that that setting the student's grade to an F, either with a drop down or something like that, could automatically send an email. We would need to have the students' emails, the parent emails, excuse me, linked on the spreadsheet. So let's start by going into Gemini, and we're going to make a very specific prompt about that. And we're going to pop in here. Okay, so let's see if we can get Gemini to make the spreadsheet for us. I want to use the app script to automatically send an email to my student's parent or guardian when they have a D or an F in my class. Can you format that spreadsheet for me? Let's see. Gemini's probably going to say yes, even if the answer is no. Right. Okay. This is what they did. It's not a CSV. So suggested format. All right. Can you please make? I'm going to ask them if they'll make a spreadsheet for me. They've done it in the past, and then sometimes they're like, no, we can't do that. We don't do that. Yes, you do. Why can I not access the chat anymore? Oh, okay. There you go. All right. So also gives you lots of tips for how to do things, which is cool. Create something based on this. Nope. All right. Okay. I don't know. Somebody knows this has never happened before. I don't know why I can no longer type in here. It's on like there's a little canvas thing, which is this box. I'm just going to close that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Can you make the actual spreadsheet as a Google Sheet? Okay, that's not true. I swear they've done it before. All right, whatever. So we'll make the template here really quick, and we'll put some fake student information in there, and let's see if we can make the script to get it to run. So what they're recommending is student name, grade, parent guardian email, and notes. All right, let's make that. So coming over here into spreadsheets. Over here, we have a student name, grade, parent name, parent email, and notes. Okay, and just going to do some quick, so let's call this low grade warning. It kind of sounds like when there's a hurricane and it turns out to be gale force winds. Send email. So that's the checkbox, and we're going to make some checkboxes here with data validation and checkbox. I'm going to make, just because I think this would be cool, for the notes here, I'm going to make a drop down. And we're just going to say like, needs to come to tutoring. Needs to make up assignments. What are the other reasons students get D's and F's in class? Needs to charge Chromebook. Please take their phone. Attendance, okay. Yes, must part is like those quarterly grade book updates, right? Must participate in class. Attendance must improve. All right, so if we've got this checkbox thing down here, I'm just going to add that there so that we've got the student name. And then just to fill this with some stuff, I want to say, let's ask Gemini, give me some fake. Oh, wait, we do have some fake names. Aha. Robert Smith. Oh, no. You got the child of one of the Cure members over here. Can I ask Gemini what? I don't know. Okay, give me some names. All right, I want names. List of student names with parent names. Oh, with grades, parent names, and parent emails. Give me a, I'm going to say this, a demo CSV list of emails. 10 entries total. Let's just see if they'll give this to me. Yes. Okay. Okay. So I can take this. I can save it as a CSV extension. That's interesting. Let's just see if I can do that with this. All right. So I just made a file. Yes. All right. I'm not sure if this will work on slides the way that they said, but let's just check. Text, no. Download. If I make it a text and then change it to a CSV, I'm not sure if that's what they were talking about. I'm just going to see if this works. Going folder. Haha, that's awesome. All right.
Nice. I like it. I got my mic working now. Perfect.
That's sweet. All right. Yeah, microphones are not going well on some of those new Chromebooks, honestly. Mine cut out a long time ago. I have a US plug-in microphone here on my.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
So that is awesome. I did not know you could do that. So what I did, for everyone who missed it, I took that text file and I saved it as a .csv, and a CSV is a spreadsheet. So when I opened it, my computer interpreted it as a spreadsheet, and it gave me all the stuff that I wanted. So we're going to take that and we're going to pop it into here. So now we've got our fake dummy made up things. So for, let's see, let's also, let's do some, just so I can start to see things. I'm going to do some colors, alternating colors, so that I can see that all right. I'm going to take this top one. I'm going to make the text bold. I'm actually going to make the text a little bit bigger for those of us who have a hard time seeing tiny, tiny things. And we'll just leave it like that for a bit. And then I want, all right, so that I don't end up accidentally sorting this, I'm going to freeze the top row. So now we've got, that's how it would look if it was in my classroom. All right, and let's also, in the case of Mr. Isaac Hernandez, whose father is Juan Hernandez, Brian, I'm going to put your email here. Did I spell your name right? No.
2 M's.
2 M's. All right. Tuvinelli at, whoops, at SalinasUHSD.org. So what, Salinas, I'm spelling real bad today. SalinasUHSD.org. So when we're ready to try it, we are going to send an email to Isaac Hernandez's father, who is going to be you, with our information. Right, so this is the spreadsheet, and now we're going to come back with the script. Okay, write an app script at script code for me that sends an email, and I'm just going to tell the information that I have already, an email to the email on column, where's the email located? The email is located on column D of a spreadsheet, and the email needs to contain the grade on column 2, or the student's name, grade, parent's name, yeah, okay, and notes, which is column E. All right, so on column, I'm moving this spreadsheet over. I'm just gonna click this over to my screen here so that I can see what I'm doing with my title. Otherwise, I will get confused. So I've got 2 screens working right now. The one that you can't see is that spreadsheet that I was just looking at. Okay. Email on column D and contains the following details. Parent name, and that's in column C. Student name, which is in column A. And teacher notes, which is in column E. Okay. In the following format. Okay, so we're going to try this. Dear parent, oops, parent name. This is your student name. Teacher Brian Minelli. We're going to go with the gender neutral pronoun here just to make it easier. They currently have a grade in my class. Please instruct them to, or please remind them to teacher note. Thank you. All right. I'll put that in quotation marks just so that it's not confusing. All right, and let's see if we get something super usable right away. If not, we're gonna have to play around with it. Okay, so note that we have comment code up here. These stars inside of the 2 flashes allow you to make a comment that's several lines long. So, okay, the script will only send emails for the students with a D, F grades in column B. Oh, okay. So this is actually set up to send it automatically if there's a D or an F grade. That's pretty cool. Although this makes me wonder will it send it? How often will it send an email? Will it send it every time, once a day? Will it send it the first time that the grade is a D or an F? I need to ask it, can you please, let's see, please, oh yeah, so you can choose how often you want it to run. So you could send it once a week if you wanted, every time there's an F. Actually, I kind of love that. Should we try that? All right, so you notice that Gemini also gave me step-by-step instructions. Teacher name, if hard-coded Brian Tuminelli's teacher's name as the teacher name constant, but you could easily change this directly in the script. Yes, all right. Let's take this and pop it in and see what it does. Control C. Obviously, so the only actual email in this script is Brian's, so we might get an email to him, but we won't have to bother a bunch of other people. All right, so I've got that copied. It says open your Google Sheet, open the app script, click on extensions. Okay, click the app script. It's telling me step by step how to get there. Paste the code. All right, you want to delete the existing code first, then save the script, and then run the script. It will ask you for authorization. So let's do those things now. Where is my spreadsheet currently? Oh yeah, so we're bringing the spreadsheet over, and we're going to extensions, and we're going to go to the app script, and we can change the code to do the checkbox thing if we want later. But let's just see what this one looks like. It's okay, it's loading. All right, took a little while. So notice when we get in here, it says function, my function. This is assuming you're going to start from the very beginning. This stuff we're going to get rid of. And we are pasting in the code right here. Okay. Let's double check that our variables here are correct. So student name column is 0. That means it should be the first one, because in coding, 0 is the first level of order, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me just double check that based on what we've got. So student name, 0, first column, yes. Grade should be 1. Parent name, 2. Parent email, 3. Parent notes should be 4. So let's look at that. 0, grade, parent name, email, notes. Okay, all these numbers add up. So a good prompt is really useful in that case because I told it what I wanted to do, so I don't have to fix or change any of this stuff necessarily. Okay, and here's the body of the email right here. You can see in red. If I wanted to change any of the specific words, I don't need to ask Gemini to redo the script. I can just change it. I can change it right here. Okay, and then, yes, okay. So we've got this. Now the next thing, we need to go back to Gemini because it tells us this thing about a trigger. And a lot of times you do have to run a trigger. Let's save this project real quick though. We'll call this send emails. Okay, and then save. Okay. We need to add a trigger to it. So let's go back to these instructions here. All right, run the script for the first time. Authorization will be required. So we're going to run that script within the app script. It sounds way more complicated than it is. All you got to do is we got to look. Oops, that's the wrong one. Sorry. All we got to do is we got to look at the correct form right here. All right, so send grade notifications is the name of the function, and we'll notice that it's the very first function that comes up right here on line 16 after the comment codes go away. Send grade notifications. All right, so I want to run that. Press run. The first time that I do it, it requires authorization. So we're going to click review permissions. And I've got to give it permission as if it's a third-party app, even though it's something that I wrote within the program. Okay, execution started. Okay, execution completed. Brian, did you get an email? I'm curious if it worked just right out the bat, because if it did, then I'm incredible. If not, I didn't get any errors. You can see
Got
I'm
an
down here.
email. So let's see. Yeah.
You did?
Yep.
All right, and it reads the text that we put?
Yep.
Sweet. Okay, so that immediately worked the first time we ran it, but let's go into that trigger part. It says, let's see, set grade notifications, run, open the app script. Wait a minute. Where is it saying? Execution log. Triggers. All right, yeah. So time-driven triggers. So we're going to go over to the app script, and we're going to select this little thing that looks like a stopwatch. It says triggers. All right, and then we just ran. This is telling me the triggers, and it gave me a 22.58% error rate. That's probably because I probably have a bunch of emails from someone that said, hey, this email doesn't exist, because we have fake emails in there. So let's add a trigger. And form, oh, I'm on app. I am on the wrong one again. I'm sorry. I'm going to close some of these other ones. They're confusing me. This one right here. Go over here to triggers, and then we're going to add our trigger. And send grade notifications. Okay. Event type. Let's see, from spreadsheet, time driven. We're going to change it to time driven, and it's going to be a week timer. What day of the week you want to tell them? Friday? Friday. Every Friday. All right, midnight to 1 a.m. No, let's do it from 4 to 5 p.m. How about? All right, we've got people coming home. They're going to check that email, and they're going to be like, hey, you need to get your work done. All right, failure notifications, we could say notify me daily. So at the end of the day, if your function fails to execute, it's going to send you an email. It's going to say, hey, this didn't work. And that might be like a typo in the parent's email, or for some reason their email is no longer valid. It'll be something you want to check on. If there's no errors, then you won't get an email. All right, so let me press save. And loading data, this may take a few moments, is what comes out at the bottom of the screen. Error details. Done. Okay, so I got an authorization error. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. I don't know why trying it again worked, or maybe it didn't work. We'll see. That looked like it worked. All right, so sometimes you just try it again. We've got some poetry happening in the corner there. I think a parent would probably have a few questions for you if you sent that to them, but I like it. All right, we're at yeah. So that's basically what we have. We now have a time-based thing. Every time there's a Friday and there's a student with a D or an F, they get that email sent to them automatically. Super cool. The only caveat is you would have to put their grades on that spreadsheet sometime on Friday when you update your grades. It's possible that you could copy Synergy is essentially a spreadsheet in and of itself. So you could maybe even copy grades off of that spreadsheet and copy paste, and it might be interpreted as a CSV copy. And if that's the case, then the paste should actually just automatically populate down. But I can't know that for sure, and I don't have any students to test it on. Shall we try doing the checkbox thing? I'm just going to go in and say, all right, rewrite this script for me and change it so that an email is sent every time the box in, what column is it? Column F, all right. In column F is checked as true. All right, and it'd be good to add this like that, because if I don't, I'll forget. And Brian, you're going to get that email about your wayward son every Friday. Got your own kids to worry about. All right, here we go. So we've got this. This is the code, and checkbox is 5, and it says column F. So it did do that for me. Please notice that the teacher's name is a variable as well, so I could put my own name. Matter of fact, let me do that, just so you can see how easy it is to change this stuff. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then let's put some information. Well, we've got this. We're gonna take it, and we're going to say change the function to be send notification if checked. I like that attention to detail there. Going into send emails. All right. And I would, in this case, I would actually delete this trigger because I don't want it to send automatically. Now I want it to go only when I check the box. And make sure there's no text left over there. Got that. All right. And then teacher name is now me. So when I check the box, Brian should get an email from, well, the email came from me originally anyway, because it's tied to my account. But let's send notification if checked is the new function. Let's run it once and see if it asks for permission. Nope. Okay. So it's all good to go. So then let's put a note on here for Mr. Isaac Hernandez. Needs to come to tutoring. All right. I'm going to check the box. And Brian, if you wouldn't mind, let me know. It might take a minute for it to show up. If you did get an email regarding Isaac, who needs to come to tutoring.
No email yet. Let's see.
Okay, it might take a minute.
I'm refreshing.
All right.
I'll let you know if it comes in. Okay,
cool. In the meantime, just a reminder, when it comes to student information, all of your students' information is on Synergy, and it can be downloaded as a CSV file. So rather than making line by line and typing every little piece of information into a spreadsheet, you should download that information. Make sure the output is either an Excel sheet or a CSV, and then you can convert those into Google Sheets, and you will have your issue there. You will have your stuff. I'm realizing I think I might need to add a trigger to make up for the one that I deleted. So if you didn't get that email yet, Brian, I don't think it's coming. So let me just go back and do that again. And if I forget, if it doesn't work, I can go back to Gemini and say, hey, that thing didn't work. What did I do wrong? And they can walk me through the process. I'll bet they will say something about triggers. So I'm going to add a trigger here. And in this case, the trigger should go event type. The event is on edit. So if it's on edit, then it will run this form if something's edited on the spreadsheet. And if the thing that's edited isn't a checkbox, it won't send an email. The only thing it's looking for is if the checkbox is true. All right. So let's save that. Hopefully it'll go without any trouble. Yes. Okay. Let's run it. I'll try it one more time. Okay. Unchecked and checked. So I just performed 2 edits. I clicked off the box and I clicked back on the box. And if there was an error, oftentimes the error will come up within the sheet and it doesn't look like anything has happened. So it's very possible that there's an email waiting for Brian right now. By the way, you got it?
Yep.
Sweet. Okay, so then the trigger was the issue there. Again, Gemini can tell you, if you ask it, hey, why didn't this work? You can get the information that you needed. Hopefully there isn't an actual web server called example.com, because a bunch of people just got emails about their children who haven't been doing their homework. If you have a CSV or something you've downloaded off Synergy or another place that stores student data, you just go into the file and click Save as Google Sheets. Takes a second. Spreadsheets are really good at this. When you take a Google Doc and save it as you take a Word file, save it as a Google Sheets, you get all kinds of formatting errors, but these formats are pretty universal. So it's really easy to just take a spreadsheet and save it as a Google Sheet. And normally that's how I start my spreadsheets. If I've got a bunch of information I'm taking from Synergy or Google Classroom or wherever I'm grabbing it from. So yeah, that's what I would do here. Anyway, cool. So that obviously that worked. And we've got about half an hour left. I'm wondering if anyone's been working on anything cool during Sandbox. If you haven't been focused on this right now, we've got some time as well for you to create your own thing. And it may just be as simple as starting to create the format for what you're wanting to do, or even copying one of my projects, which we have right here. So what was my idea? We'll see if we can get it to do it. But what I wanted to try and do is see if I could get a Google Sheet that has terms and definitions, and then turns those into like printable flashcards using like Google Slides, just to make like a slide that students could use to study vocabulary. I got a question here from Julie. Could you have multiple checkboxes, one for if the grade was lower, another if missing assignments, low attendance, or does each need its own spreadsheet? As a matter of fact, it's all about how simple, how detailed your prompt is. So if you're telling Gemini, hey, there's 3 rows of checkboxes, one is on this column, one's on this column, one's on this column. The one in this column is for low grades. The other one on this column is for missing assignments. The one on this column is for low attendance. And then I want the message to say this, 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 and this, and say both of these things. If both these boxes are checked, say one of these things, another one's checked, it can do it. It'll be a more complicated code, but yeah, but Gemini could do it, and you would definitely want to put your own email as one of the testers so that you can test and see if it actually puts the output that you want. And if it doesn't, you can copy that text, come over and say, hey, your script gave me this output. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Can you fix it? Yeah, so it's really just about really having a clear idea in your mind of what you want to prompt it to do. Actually, here's a good time to, let me just add tech. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go to the EdTech portal really quick and mention there were some of those AI resources that that you might find very useful. There's a picture of Brian. Oh, Paul's picture is still up here. That's sad. Paul retired. Let's see. Is it digital citizenship and literacy? No. I think it's application training and learning resources, AI information. There we go. All right. So this is on the staff portal, this website. It's curated by Amber and Jen, our district ed techs. And there was a, right here is a crash course on artificial intelligence. I'm trying to see where the trainings presentations, oh yeah, AI prompt rating and Gemini. This is the one I was thinking about. So this is a Canva presentation. It's like a fancy Google slideshow. What you'll find from here is just some guidelines for how do I apply a really good prompt when I'm trying to get Gemini to do something for me. And it can work with you. Like, not everything that's in my chat logs is an example of a very good prompt. Sometimes I'm a little bit sloppy with it because I'm still trying to figure out what I need. It just takes a little bit longer to get what you really want. The acronym is PARTS, P-A-R-T-S, P-A-R-T-S. And you should consider, to the EdTech portal, Marisol, or to this slideshow? I'll just send the EdTech portal link right here. There will be a lot of tech learning stuff and a lot of like your district ed techs do, and your site ed techs as well do a lot of trainings on different apps and things that we have licenses for and stuff that we do throughout the class, the school year with technology. And that stuff is going to, a lot of it's going to be there. So you can find some really high quality PD if you're looking to do something self-paced before the beginning of the year. All right. So the PARTS framework: persona, aim, recipients, theme, and structure. Here's an example coming up on the next slide, I believe. Nope, not that one. There's like a couple slides in here. All right, this goes over that FERPA and COPA stuff in more detail that I was talking about at the beginning of this presentation. There's a link to the guidelines here, best practices. I know that the slide is in here. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is the PARTS theme. So the persona, who are you? You might start with letting Gemini know that you're a teacher, even though I think we have Google Gemini for Education is the actual app that we use. So it might know that already. What are you trying to do? I want to inform parents that their students are late on assignments or have attendance issues. Who is it for? I already said that for the parents. What theme, what style, and what structure? I want it to be in a Google spreadsheet. I want to use the app script to automate this work. Things like that. I see a raised hand. Michael, do you need something?
Yeah, when you're talking about the Gemini app, is that different from just going to, because I've used in the web browser, just go to Gemini.google,
yep.
Whatever. Does that mean the app, or is there an actual app that's?
You can download it as an app on like an iOS device or an Android phone or something like that, but it'll still be the same access to the same thing. So a website can be considered an app because it does a specific function, just like how we would consider something like Formative or Screencastify to be an app, even though they're all websites.
So is there going to be a thumbnail to that on something?
For Gemini?
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, again, if you have it downloaded onto like a tablet or a smartphone, then yes, there would be like a thumbnail, an app, an icon.
But not pushed out by the district.
No. The best way to access Gemini through your district computer is just clicking the waffle. Yeah, that Lisa's saying it's in the waffle. So the little like that little 3x3 set of dots, you click there, scroll down, or you can bookmark it if you use it a lot. It can be right there. Yeah, when I say app, I do mean the same thing as when I would say website. All right. So here's an example of that. I'm a 10th grade history teacher at a high school in California. Write a 50-minute lesson plan for my class about Gettysburg Address and effects it had in the Civil War. Include 2 structured student talk activities and provide the lesson plan as a table with time markers for each activity. All right, so it's very specific about what it wants. And then you get like better quality prompts depending and different different groups of different programs. So Gemini has this kind of an output. The other one was a different, but they both said from Gemini. All right. So and then of course you put your expertise on it as well. So yeah, consider going into detail, and when you're asking it to design code for you, consider going into even more detail, because if you really want a specific outcome, it helps to be specific about what you want. It will make assumptions from time to time. Some of those assumptions are actually good, and some of them are not so good. So for example, when I did this program right here to make my message board, at first, they were actually making a new slide for every single input, which that actually could be cool. I could see how that could be useful. But for what I wanted to use it for, which was looking at students writing, I wanted it to be tiled across the front. And then I realized how it was outputting. It was just continuing to put more text on top, even though the screen was already covered. So then I said, okay, make sure that it makes a new slide every time the screen is full. So then the code went through. So sometimes you can be iterative about how you make your prompts to make them what you want. And that's where most of us will probably get our best ideas, because it's honestly, sometimes you walk in trying to create lesson materials and you don't really know what you want to make. Like, I mean, that's just when we're being human too, just when we are making our syllabi for the year, or our emergency lesson plan, we don't always know what actually we're going to have it do. We need to play around with the ideas, with our brains, and with what resources are out there to figure out what we actually want the output to look like. So that can be another way to go about it. Yeah. So we've got about 20 minutes left, and I'm assuming, I haven't heard a lot of questions, so I'm assuming that we're exploring resources, we're testing it out, trying to get it to work for you. If there's any other projects that I can help you work on, or if you run into any snags, please let me know. We're still here till, since we didn't go for our 15-minute break, we're going to end today's session at 12 o'clock, which is about 17 minutes from now. Of course, if you do need to take a restroom break or drink some water or something, please don't sit there and wait. Take care of your business, and we'll still be here to talk to you about all the stuff if you run into trouble or need help with stuff.
Hey, Steven, can you help me out with something?
Yeah, what's up?
Because I'm doing something similar to you on the grade. I kind of was following along.
Okay.
Going to the app script, you did the whole, let's see, I'm gonna make sure I save it. Let's save. Oh.
Do you want to present, or do you mind presenting?
Yeah, hold on. I gotta figure out why it won't save. Rename.
Okay. Yeah, if it's still named like untitled or something, then you would need to.
No, it isn't. Let me
just.
I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. Let me share. Hold on one second.
All right. Cool.
So I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So I have the script and everything, got it all going. I'm trying to save it. I'm getting this syntax error.
It says syntax error,
From
undetected token. Okay, it says line 1 has, you know what? Yeah, okay. I could see what happened. It looks like there's supposed to be a slash on the left-hand side of those two asterisks, because that's a comment code and it's a nomenclature thing. So you see how it turned green right there?
Yeah.
Try saving it now.
All right. Nice. Now I can do the run aspect, right?
And you could take that text and put it in Gemini and say, hey, what's going on? But I just happened to notice that it said on line 1, and when I looked at it, I saw the error. So
okay.
If you don't know, you can always ask.
Thank you for that. I'm testing my own thing out right now. So
test it by pressing the run on the top there, and it'll probably prompt you to authorize.
Okay. I don't think I've updated my sheet yet. Let me see here.
Okay.
Boom. I'm just checking something here. Okay. So I just hit run.
And then it says
Your
authorization. Yeah, it's going to
permissions.
ask for your permission. If the execution log says that it was successful, even if you haven't formatted it yet, then the script is good. You just need to build it according to your expectations. It says, okay.
Sheets, even though
Read email notifier not found. Okay.
But that's
Oh,
what my
so-
sheet name is called, and I ran it through apps. So what am I missing?
Is it? It could be case sensitive. What I would
Okay.
recommend is
I
where
copied and pasted this from the title itself.
Okay. Is the quotation marks included in it? Because they shouldn't be, like on your actual
No.
spreadsheet. It's not? Okay.
No.
Grade email notifier.
I'm going to take out that dash and see if that works, and just keep it 1.
Yeah.
Let me see if that works. And
Or
then
you
just
could take the title of your spreadsheet now and just put it in there, and whatever is missing, like maybe it's a phantom space or something that you don't know is there.
Yeah. All right. Let me try it again. Let me see if this works. Same.
Not found. Okay, so now here's what you do. Copy that error from the execution log, go put it into Gemini and say, why am I getting this? The title appears to be the same. Is there any other reason? Something like that. So they can present alternate reasons why this is happening.
Okay, I will. All right, I'll stop. Let me see. Title of the sheet is the same as script. All right, let's see what it says. I guess I'll share this tab too.
Yeah, okay. It's redoing the code. Interesting. It says slight discrepancy, scripting finish. The hyphen between
Oh, okay.
comments and
They updated the script, so let me just copy the new script, I guess, then, right? Because everything else, I gotta make sure everything else is the same here.
Yeah. What it's saying is, okay, so they're saying they think that the Google Sheet doesn't have a hyphen. Do you want to check, because you took the hyphen off of it in the code, but then you didn't, or in the comment, but then not in the function at the top, or the variable? So the console error, that's where you changed and took the hyphen out.
Where is it right
you
here?
have it.
Yeah.
Oh, you have it on the you do have it on the variable too. I see. So is that what it looks like on your spreadsheet?
Yeah, but could I just copy the title here?
I would say just copy the whole thing and put it
in the title.
Put it in the code block. Just erase everything from before, because it should be the same just with those changes.
Okay.
But just in case it shows up somewhere that you're not aware of, that's what I usually do, is just copy the whole thing, save it again.
All right, so let me just do this. I'll just redo it real quick, see what happens. Here, let me share this tab just so you see what I'm doing here.
Yep. Yep, and there should be no text left when you erase it, and it should go all the way. Okay.
All right, so let me try running it.
Save it first. Yep.
All right, let me try running.
All right. Not found. Okay. Can I see your spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Because
I only have one thing in here right now. I was just testing it just with my stuff.
Grade email notifier. Is there any? They're all uppercase. 2028. Grade email notifier. All right, and could go back to the code quick. That looks exactly the same.
Should I just simplify the title and try it?
Sure. Yeah. You would change to the only place that's really important to change is where it says in the const sheet,
right.
a variable sheet. Everywhere else that it exists, it will not affect your code. The only thing that you really need to hit is where it says that.
So line 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just change it here.
Okay, and then change the title of your spreadsheet.
All right, I'm just double checking. I'm doing both.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna hit save
Yep.
and then run.
What do we got? Come on, big money.
Oh,
Okay.
it still says error point. So I have to change
Okay.
somewhere else.
Here's an idea. Ask Gemini to rewrite the script for you using the URL of the spreadsheet and do that instead of the name.
All right.
And
Please
see
rewrite
if that works.
The code. So just say, please rewrite the code with using this.
Or actually,
spreadsheet.
wait, hold on a second. Are your sharing permissions turned on so that people can view? That might be affecting it.
No.
So you want to try turning your share permissions on so that like just like within the district can be viewed. I don't know if that's going to affect anything, but
try that again. I just did that, so run it again.
yeah, let's try.
Nope.
Okay. So then, yeah, I would say because you can have it open by URL, which is what most of my scripts usually say, is to open it by the URL. So that might work better.
So then just say, please.
Just like rewrite the script so that the URL, so that the spreadsheet opens by URL and not by name.
Open the URL and not name. And do I provide the URL?
Okay, you could do that, and they'll probably write it into the script for you. Yeah. Otherwise, you would just go in and you would edit it to include your URL. And
all right.
Obviously, if this works, you could make a different spreadsheet later and run the same script off of it. You just need to copy it and put it in there.
Let's give it a shot, buddy.
Let's hope this works.
You are my, like I said, one thing I don't do is an ed tech.
Well, I didn't really do it until I figured out Gemini could do it for me.
All right, let's run it.
Come on, big money.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Now,
All
let's see
right.
if I got the emails. Well, I'm waiting on the emails. We'll see if they
might
come.
take a minute.
Boom, I got one.
Should you gotten more than one?
I sent it to my personal and as like, that was my parent email.
Okay. What I would check if it doesn't come through for everybody would be that if it has a trigger that will run the function.
It came through.
It came through.
I just gotta
Okay,
go.
sweet.
I gotta go reformat I gotta go reformat the code, but or at least what the email is gonna say, but it works. So awesome.
Sweet.
Perfect, sir. Thank you.
All right. So yes. Oh, how's everybody doing? We're at about 11:53. Couple minutes. I'm going to be putting my feedback link in the chat because we're getting close to the end of our time today. Like I said, we'll be ending at 12 o'clock because we didn't pause for a break. Yes, I responded to your chat just now, Michael. So if you see that, I think that the answer to your question is if you try to take that text file, if it's a text file, save it as a CSV, and you should be able to make that into a spreadsheet automatically, as long as that's what you want the spreadsheet to say. Otherwise, you can also just open up Sheets and you can make it work. Right, and I do want to point out to everybody that I am a site ed tech. I am stationed at La Paz Middle School, but I work for this district, and I am passionate about teachers and other staff members streamlining their workflow so that they have more time and emotional energy to invest in the kids. So please don't hesitate to email me if you have an idea, you want it to work and it's not working. I'm here to help you do stuff. So, and we all communicate and work with each other. We have different ed techs at the site. We all have the thing that we're really good at. And like, I know if I need to know how to do something in Canva, I gotta talk to Amber. I know that, let's see. Oh, Brian's an expert on formative. He can do all of that for us. Servando and quizzes, formerly quizzes, now Wayground. That's his thing. So there's lots of different expertises. So it's no problem if you want to reach out and talk to me about the thing that I became an expert in. So I do want to put, with 5 minutes left in today's meeting, I just want to put this feedback link. I just put it down at the bottom and I'm going to pin it right now. I think that undoes the other pin that we had. If you want to click that link and just let Ed Services know, and then they'll let me know how are things going. And that will also help us figure out what our staff needs for the next symposium, training, whatever it is that we're doing. Hey, Michael, would you be willing to share your screen with the question you have? Because I'm trying to figure out how to help you, and I'm not 100% certain if I'm telling you the right thing, not knowing what it is exactly that you're working on. I just unshared my screen, so you'll find my feedback link on the slides as well. It's slide number 23. Okay, here we go. All right, so yeah, okay, copy that code, or actually, I think you can take it and export it as a Google Doc. If not, just copy it using the copy icon in the top and paste it into a Google Doc, then download. You're going to download that Google Doc, and I'll show you what to do from there. So if you want to get it into a document first, I can show you how this works. The other possibilities,
or a doc.
What?
Copy it and paste it into a sheet or a doc.
Into a doc is what I did just now, because I learned just today that this works. We can save it as what will become a spreadsheet by just changing the end when we download it. It's a little bit crazy. Otherwise, you could also just open a spreadsheet and just type in across the top everything that you want to put there. That'll take longer.
Okay. I've got it copied and pasted.
So it's in a Google Doc right now?
Yeah, I gotta change the screen, I guess.
Oh yeah, are you sharing a tab?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can only share one at a time. So you're gonna grab, you can actually find the tab you're looking for and push the button to switch it. But if you look in the, so if you look in the file menu, actually, you need to give that a name. So call it what you want your spreadsheet to be named in the top corner. Probably not that, yeah. You owe me time, very good. So then press File, and then press Download. And when that dialog comes out, I want you to select Text, TXT, underneath PDF. There you go. All right. And when the dialog button comes up for the download, instead of TXT, change the TXT part of your document to CSV. The prompts in the slides are from the District AI website. Are they? I don't know why it's coming up for me. Let me just put this other link right here.
The one you shared in the chat with your
okay.
slides.
I see why that may have happened. Okay.
But it was good. It was good. It was the history Gettysburg Address one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So you were looking for.
I was just adapting the different prompts and to English, and it's working out really good.
Okay.
Yeah. So
good.
thank you.
Sure. No problem. Hope it's helpful. So then, did you figure that last part out? Calling it a .csv.
I don't know where it went. Let's see.
It should go. Are you on a Chromebook or on a PC?
I'm on my SUHSD Chromebook.
Okay, then it should be.
I don't know where it went.
It should be in your files. If you click the files icon,
it's a text thing,
and then downloads, because you downloaded it.
Oh, okay. I got the download, and then.
Hey, thanks everybody for coming out. Please fill out that feedback form and let everyone know what you enjoyed, what could be improved. I really appreciate the feedback, and contact me as you need help for things. I think we're done for today. So I'll hang out for a little bit if anyone still needs help with stuff. But if you need to go, you're free to go, and have a wonderful year. Bye. So so in the downloads folder, did you find the file that you have?
Yeah, it came up in the like in a separate. I don't even know what to call it. Now it's gone. Okay, so
do you know where your downloads folder is?
Okay, I'm opening it again.
All right. Do you want to share your screen? Because
It's
that might help me
opening
visualize.
It's opening text.
Okay, so did you change the file extension at the end to CSV? Like literally just type CSV and erase the TXT?
In the name?
In the name of the file, yeah. So like, you know how it says .pdf, .xlss, or whatever the file extension is? I could probably help you figure out where to go if you could share your screen so I can see what you're looking at right now.
Okay, so I have, if I open the TXT, now let's see here.
Even if it's not open, if you just like two-finger tap the file itself and click rename. Yeah, okay, so let's do it. Okay, so this is, okay, yeah, so it's opening as a text file. So what you want to do is, could you go into your files, please, in the downloads? You got it open, right? That blue folder icon right there. All right, and go click on downloads, all right? And it should be the top one because you just did it, right? Okay, so close that. All right, two-finger tap that so that you can get, yeah, click rename. Underneath get info, yeah. Okay, and so just change TXT, erase the TXT, and add CSV. All right, now press enter. All right, now try opening it. We did it.
Cool.
So then you would need to save as a Google slide, a Google Sheet in the file menu, and then you're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, absolutely. All right. If anyone's sticking around behind, needs help with something, let me know. I'm probably gonna end this meet in the next couple of minutes if nobody needs any help with anything.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't need help. I'm just playing around with the thing.
It's pretty fun.
I'm trying to get it to read the item specifications for a PE and then extract the common misconceptions and then recommend CER prompts for them.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And I don't know if it'll work, but
there's a new thing that was added to Google Sheets that I don't know if this would work better than using like an app script function, because I'm still not 100% sure everything it can do. But if you type like equals AI and then open parentheses in a cell, in a spreadsheet, like for a function, there's like an AI function. You give them the range and then you just like in quotations, type what you want it to do. Like create exemplars of this something, something. And I haven't tried it yet, but it looks really cool.
So like you would, instead of using AppScript to do all of that, I would maybe use AppScript to extract the common misconceptions from the document like automatically, but then I could just have a function that says, okay, turn this into this using AI.
Yeah, or if you want it to be if you want those options to be like on a document, maybe even the opposite, like get an AI function to pull the common misconceptions. So like, let me share my screen. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Again, I have not played with this, but it sounds like it's really cool. So if I am here, whoops, I just killed my own presentation. If I'm here in a spreadsheet, this is the one that I made before, and I just type in the cell equals AI. So prompt and range. If I were to say, I don't know, filter out last names, maybe for C2C.
So basically, instead of troubleshooting and Googling functions and troubles trying to get them to work the way you want them to,
Johnson.
you just have AI do it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to kind of know how it works to make some things happen. And I think personally, I feel like being able to do the analog with the functions and everything, that's one of my favorite things, can work faster than just having the AI do it. But for certain things like analyzing blocks of text and pulling individual things out, you can't really do that with a function unless you're like pulling out specific words that come up. So I don't know, it's brand new. It's kind of in beta right now, it looks like. So it's not always going to work the way that you want it to work, but it might be worth trying.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Oh,
cool. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Let me know if I can help with your new job. All right, everybody. I think at this point, I'm going to close down this chat. We're going to stop the recording, and I will hope to that you'll reach out if you have any further questions or further learning that you'd like to do with any of the subjects we talked about today. Thanks, and have a great day.